Ghost of Yotei gets a new DLC drop coming this year. Halo sales estimates are in. Blizzard crushes it for Xbox and so much more. Welcome to the Nerd Cave News. I am your host tonight, rocking it alone, rocking around the Christmas tree all by myself. Derek is out on assignment. He's not really on assignment, but it just sounds way cooler if you say he's out on assignment. But yeah, Derek is not going to be here tonight. So we're going to be having a good time ourselves here at the Nerd Cave. Thank you so much for being here. It is going to be fantastic. Let me know how you are down in the comments below. Man, oh man, it has been an interesting week. It's been an interesting week. I got to we'll just jump over to what you've been playing. I got to try out Gears of War E-Day, and man, Amy says, the lone man, the one, the only. Yep, just me, just little old me tonight, but it's going to be a good one. I am going to be putting out my impressions of Gears of War E-Day. I had the pleasure of getting to try out the beta over the past weekend, and I filmed it yesterday. I just got to finish putting some B-roll on top of it so people get the visual of what I'm talking about. I like, you can listen to somebody talk about something, but seeing it while they're talking about it makes it so much more visceral. It's hitting two senses at the same time. I'm a kinesthetic person, so it's like feeling it definitely helps, but seeing it and hearing the description definitely helps. Cue Celine Dion, all by myself. I think of Frank Sinatra's version. Old Frank Sinatra. New York, New York 2. The album that hardly anybody probably listened to. This is like Frank is buzzing. You know what I mean? Frank is buzzing in that. He's yelling at his drummer later in the album. But it's great, y'all. Luck be a lady. LA is my lady. Such a bop. And people are like, what's going on here? So yeah, I got to play Gears of War E-Day. Man, I cannot wait for this game. The beta really sealed the deal with me being excited because I know that the story, I know, most of Gears games have been really, really good. So this one is like, okay, I feel like we're going to finally get a very big story, which is Emergence Day. So I am looking forward to that. But the Horde mode has been updated to Horde Siege. So I pretty much will just call it Siege mode. It is really good. Like, it is really, really good. And the differences, the things that they've added to the game, I think really bring some life into what Gears is. There are some things that you have to get used to and everything, but it's definitely one of those where it's like, I can't wait to jump in, try to get, a crew together and play, some Horde. What's up, Michael? Hope you're doing well. Get a crew together and run some Horde stuff together. It's going to be a ton of fun because 4 different classes, like the other Horde modes, it's like nobody was like specifically, and maybe in 5, it's been a long time since I played 5. I think it was like 2019 or 2018 when it came out. So it's been a while. But saying that is like there wasn't a lot of differentiating between the players other than the skins or the weapons they use. This one, it's like everybody has like a base level, but the more you play, you get new unlocks, you get points that you can spend on, your upgrades for your weapons or what kind of mods you have for your gear, your tactical gear that you get and everything. So I am stoked for it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Check out the video. It's going to go out tomorrow. If you want a very in-depth look at what Gears of War E-Day is going to be like, y'all let me know what you've been playing down in the comments below. I am so close to 100%ing Lego Batman. I have essentially took care of all of the activities on the map. So now I've got to collect a few things that aren't like on like have a position on the map. And then essentially you can get like 99.83% or whatever, and that is your 100% in this for some odd reason. I have no idea. But I am very, very close. I finished all the secondary activities, and I've now gotten all the vehicles, all the um, suits for everybody. So I'm closing in on being able to completely wrap up that. I need to jump back into V Rising. I'm literally standing in Dracula's his like castle or whatever, and started taking him down, and I'm just like, I'm not ready for this. Like, he was just wrecking my house. So I am definitely got to put some time into that and get the right potions and gear and all of that kind of stuff, to make sure that I can take down the man, you know what I mean? And then I'll be able to put 2 games to rest, because right now I am currently working on finishing up Batman. I've got Death Stranding, which I'm almost done with it. I'm like right at the edge of finishing a lot of games. So it's like I'm getting ready for, like, September is going to be absolutely insane because we got tons of games coming out. Like 2 weeks from now we get Zero Company, which I'm really excited about. So there's a lot of things about to happen. September 15th we get Wolverine. October 1st we're getting the Ghost of Yotei DLC, and then October 6th is Gears of War. So man, there's a ton of stuff, and that's not even like all the things that are coming out either. Like that's like, let's see. I'm looking at backlogged and seeing, of course, GTA 6, go figure, is coming out in November. Trying to think of what else is coming out this year. I'm just looking through the list. I'm just looking through Dusk Bloods. When does that come out? Still got 2026. Phantom Blade Zero, October 29th. There's so much stuff. Control Resonant coming out September 24th. So it's just like one thing after another after another. Silent Hill Townfall September 24th. So there's so many things. The Witch's Bakery October 14th. I have no idea what that is, but it looked cute and might be something for Amy to play. Tomb Raider Legacy, well, it's in next year. They got pushed back. So there's a lot going to be going on, and I know another game got mentioned, like its release dates coming out in September. So there's just a ton. Resonance of Plague Tale Legacy, October 27th. So there's literally 2 games on October 27th that I really, really, really want to play. I wonder if Resonance of Plague Tale Legacy is on Game Pass. Let's see, on Game Pass. If I can type, y'all, on Game Pass. Yes. So dope. That'll be something I will definitely be checking out. It looks really good, and I'm really excited about that one. It's on my wish list. If y'all have not already, y'all should go check out Backlogged. I know I talk about this quite often, but I don't know why this thing doesn't, like, I don't even know, y'all. This thing's confusing sometimes. You know what I mean? Automatic. Maybe, nope. that didn't fix it. That didn't fix it at all. I'm a professional. You know, I'm a professional. If y'all don't know that, whatever. It'll all work out. It'll all work out. Y'all should go check out Backlog to keep track of all your games. Y'all can find me over there on Nerd Cave. Amy says, I definitely need to rewatch the stream from Tuesday. From Tuesday so I can get a better idea of Pokemon Yellow. Yeah, like Tuesdays, it was me like kind of fumbling around trying to get all the mods working on that, but it definitely has some really cool stuff that I think you will enjoy, and I can answer any questions that you have on that because if you didn't check out Tuesday, we played Pokemon at 60 frames a second, third person, talking about Gen 1 Pokemon. So y'all should just go check that out. Y'all should go check that out. But that's what I've been playing. Y'all let me know what you've been playing down in the comments below. Before we get into it, man, I have been I have been posting on YouTube more and more of our shorts and everything. And man, the people that comment, like, yeah, you post, I don't feel like I'm very divisive or anything like that with like my content that I put out there. But last week I put out a short from, this was like a week or so ago. But it was talking about EA's CEO getting $38 million and the devs getting laid off. And the comments on this was kind of eye-opening and sad at the same time. And I'm getting the same thing over on TikTok as well. And I'm just like, it's a lot of people bootlicking is like what I like to call it. That's the nicest way to say it, because me and Derek, I feel like, are pretty honest and talk about things on a pretty fair basis. Like when things do feel very anti-consumer, we call that out. When, and I try to be as down the middle, like, because there's a lot of people that make content that everything is corporate greed, everything is anti-consumer and all of this, and there is a lot of it. But there is sometimes where it's like, yeah, it's a business, you got to make money. But literally seeing like all of these, one of them, shut up, your salary when you accept a job. Communists will not last long. Low IQs having a low IQ debate. They built that using tens of millions of dollars worth of resources they didn't have to pay for, and they were paid a zero risk wage for doing so. And I'm just like, I understand. It is definitely work for hire. It is people getting to use an IP to make awesome games. But it takes the game developers to make awesome games. And people like, oh, well, they don't get fired when the game's bad. Yeah, they do. Studios get shut down all the time. People get let go. But the thing that gets me is the whole point of that discussion was, and again, it's like a maybe 60-second clip. No, this was like 17, actually. 17-second clip. But if you actually look at what the thing that we're talking about there is, EA's boss, CEO, got $38 million off of the success of Battlefield 6. And they laid off a ton of people. And it's like, okay, when you see that and there's this huge success, it's like, okay, not like, there is a lot of times where people ramp up and they get a lot of developers in there to help get things out quicker. I don't like that there is churn off of games normally, but the way the environment around layoffs in the gaming industry has been so crazy over the last 3 or 4 years, where literally tens of thousands of jobs have been lost, that when we see success, that should mean job security. That shouldn't mean, oh, we're going to lay hundreds of staff off. We're going to lay thousands of staff off. Maybe not this particular one, but it's like, okay, yeah, they are using the IP, but it took devs to make that IP what it is. And Battlefield 6 finally got traction and beat Call of Duty on sales numbers last year because of the people that made it. They should have job security. I'm not saying that it should be, tenured or anything like that where, oh, you can't fire me. No, I'm not. That's not. I don't. Maybe education still, some places still have tenure, but most places don't. But the vitriol and just kind of the look and everything is just crazy. And like the CEO is more valued by orders of magnitude simple. And it's like, without a good leader, it doesn't matter what your title is. 9 times out of 10, so people get moved into management that are not qualified by it. CEOs are important. They cast vision, they do steer the ship. But when it comes to these developers and publisher side of things, CEOs don't have as much actual knowledge about what gaming is. A lot of these CEOs are there to just make shareholder value. And with EA, they just sold. So it's like, oh, how can we shed weight? It's like they're, getting ready for a fight or whatever. They have to make sure that they maintain weight or whatever. It's the same thing, but it's like you're getting rid of the people that made you successful. It's just very sleazy. And we see this time and time again. Tango Gameworks gets a great game out there and then they get closed. It's like, okay. Marvel Rivals, one of their studios that helped work on it. Marvel Rivals comes out, does amazing, and then a bunch of people get laid off. And it's one thing after another, and it's like, why would anyone come into this? And I know somebody posted on here, it was like, oh, or it might have been on, oh, here it is. What's even sadder, if they didn't need tens of millions of dollars in resources, they need a computer to do their job, $1,000, and they could build that exact same thing at home and make 38 million themselves. Will they? No. That comment right there, man, that is the most tone deaf thing that I think I have ever heard. Now, there are people that do solo dev, and man, that's amazing stuff that they're able to make. Or where you have, like Hollow Knight, Silk Song. I think it was a 5-person team. They made an amazing game, sold it for $20, and raked in a ton of cash. All right. It doesn't take a massive team to make a game, but just saying, oh, well, they're just lazy, they could totally do this with $1,000 computer and all of that. And it's like, you clearly don't understand game development. And I do not understand game development completely myself. It's kind of a art/science. It's kind of like baking. But to simplify this down to, oh, it's just people being lazy and you could totally do this at your house and all of that, it's like, no. And like Battlefield 6 was successful, but I don't think it's because the name is Battlefield 6. Okay. Battlefield has kind of sucked for a really long time and has not sold well. Look at 2482 or whatever the one was before Battlefield 6. It was trash. Okay. Just because you have the IP doesn't mean that you're getting your foot in the door for a lot of people. I don't know. Like, this kind of stuff it was just sad to see. And same thing with like, it doesn't matter on that one. But it's just sad to see that people are, you know, defending corporations instead of defending people, and no empathy. I think that's the thing that shocked me the most, is the lack of empathy for others. And it's like so many people have lost their jobs over the last few years from the gaming industry. And it's like, oh, well, this is just my entertainment. And it's like, well, it's your entertainment, but it's someone's livelihood. And, we're getting closer to, we're a little over the halfway mark of the year. There's always layoffs around Christmas time. And it's like, we're going to see another set of that, just because people want to look lean going into the last quarter of the year and everything. And it's just like, to Amy's point, the lack of loyalty to employees across the business is appalling. Yeah. It's like no one is safe. No one gets to escape the wrath. And, there's a ton of layoffs going on over at Xbox. We just saw, several people get laid off at Double Fine, but that is because they aren't having the same kind of financial backing as they did when they were with Xbox. But it's not out of, oh, we just had a really big success, we made a ton of money, guess what, we're letting people go. Like, that's so stupid. That is so stupid. And that is greed. That is greed in and of itself. And, if you're thinking that it's not greed, that's cool too. And, we put out content, people are going to comment and all of that. That's fine. But it doesn't mean I have to be silent. Doesn't mean that I have to accept, all of that. I'm not going to deal with the keyboard warriors and all of that. They even said the lonely keyboard warriors and basement dwellers showed up in those comments. Yeah. $1,000 for a computer. Somebody doesn't know the market right now. No, they don't know the market right now. And $1,000 computer is probably like a Chromebook at this point in time. Like, you wouldn't be able to do hardly anything on there. So I just want to take a minute, since, it's just little old me over here, and chat a little bit about that, because I feel like that's important to, point out some things. Maybe I need to bring, I don't drive as much as I used to, so car thoughts doesn't happen, but maybe I just need to do a rant video every week or something like that. I don't know. Y'all let me know down in the comments below, because like Tuesday nights, I don't feel like I want to rant. I just want to play some video games and hang out. So it's like, maybe I need a rant video every week. We'll see. Now let's get into the gaming discussion this week. We've got a few that we're going to be discussing. First up, Ghost of Yotei gets DLC and more a year after launch. Sony has announced Ghost of Yotei Complete Edition alongside new content to be coming to the game. Andrew Goldfarb, Senior Communications Manager at developer Sucker Punch Productions, confirmed an October 1st release date for the Ghost of Yotei's new narrative expansion, new single-player combat survival mode, and new quality of life updates as part of the Complete Edition. The new narrative expansion is called Ghost of Yotei Echoes of Sekigahara. Goldfarb said it's split between the present day and flashback to Atsu's time on the mainland. You meet Nagato, a figure from Atsu's past who has arrived in Edzo. In the present, you explore a previously unseen valley once inhabited by the Snake and his gang of loyal followers, the Vipers. It's a pretty cool name, not gonna lie. In the past, you experience Atsu's time and the Battle of Sekigahara, and a key moment in her life before she returned home for a quest for vengeance. Expect new enemies, new heavy weapons, new armor sets, new dyes, and more. The new single-player survival mode, meanwhile, is called Ghost of Yotei Most Wanted. Goldfarb said it's the game's spin on a roguelike where you accept bounties to start new runs and taking down enemies earn you perks. Goldfarb teased that you can also unlock additional characters to play as. That's pretty dope. Ghost of Yotei Edition Complete Edition comes. Ghost of Yotei's Complete Edition content. That's weird. The complete edition will cost $69.99, includes Echoes of Sekigahara, The Most Wanted, and base game, as well as online co-op mode Ghost of Yotei Legends. If you buy the complete edition, you can immediately start playing the main game and Legends, and Echoes of Sekigahara and Most Wanted will arrive with a patch on October 1st. If you already own Ghost of Yotei, you can get Echoes of Sekigahara and Most Wanted by buying Ghost of Yotei Complete Edition upgrade for $14.99. Now, I'm excited that we are getting some new content for this. I did really love Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima's DLC that we got, Iki Island, and getting content for this is going to be awesome. And I do want to read what Derek sent me. I sent this to him, and this is what he said. I'm excited to get back into Yotei's world. However, it coming right out before Gears and an already crowded time between the end of September. September is going to be busy. October will make it seem forgotten. But also for us players who already bought the game, having to spend an extra $15 while newcomers get it bundled in for the same price as we did a year ago doesn't seem right. Now, I do feel like it is kind of a tax on the people that were there first. It would have been $15 is not bad. I feel like this is probably going to be a 5 hour to 8 hour kind of like content. It might be less. I'm not 100% sure. But to like Iki Island was a pretty chunky thing. And then we're getting the Most Wanted side of stuff, which I'll probably play a little bit. I'm not going to spend a ton of time in the roguelike side of things. That's not really my cup of tea. I know a lot of people like that. I remember Last of Us 2 came out with that mode in the last few years, but charging for it while, you know, the people that are getting the complete edition, like it's one of those, I don't remember if Iki Island was free. Was Iki Island free? Okay. It was not free. It was paid. Okay. So they are staying with it. I'm not as upset with like the $15 price tag. That's not a big deal. I do agree with Derek's thought process that having the game come out on October 1st, it's like, okay, this is like a year, around a year-ish from when the game did come out and everything. It's like, yeah, it fits with that, but does that really work? Because if they would have put it later, you would have been running into GTA. But you've got these slew of a bunch of games from like the 27th of August on through October. And you also have a big PlayStation game coming out on the 15th. And then October 1st hits, and you've already had like Resonance, and then you've had Control Resonant, a lot of Resonance and Rezo, whatever. You've had that just before this, plus a Final Fantasy game that's coming out in September as well. So there's just so much stuff. And then you have Gears of War sitting on the 6th. And it's like, okay, when am I going to get around to this? Because I love Ghost of Yotei, it's going to be sitting on my list, but I don't know if it is like, oh, I've got to play this, because where am I at in my playthrough of Wolverine at that point? You know, like, have I already beaten it? I hope so. But it's like, where, you know, what am I doing at that point? Am I cleaning it up? Am I, you know, trying to 100% it? Is it going to fit in that? Plus, on top of playing Resonance and, you know, maybe even the Final Fantasy game, you know, Zero Company at the same time, there's so much to play. It's like, does this fit in at this point with my gaming like calendar? And it really doesn't. And that kind of sucks, because when Iki Island came out, it came out at the right time. I felt like I wasn't playing a ton of other stuff, so it fit right in, and I was able to really dive into it. And that's what I want when I play this, is to actually get the time. So I'm glad that it's coming out. I don't think it's the greatest time. Hopefully it doesn't get kind of lost in there, but hopefully more people will be getting Ghost of Yotei because of the complete edition. I know it sold pretty well, so more people will get this, get the DLC, get, you know, into goes to the legend side. I thought they even canceled the legend side of things, like the servers were going down or something like that. So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that. Maybe they're not putting new content out. I don't know. I played a little bit of the legends, but it wasn't really that interesting to me. I felt like it was harder than the main game. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. Are you getting the Echoes of Sekihara and the Most Wanted? Or did you, if you bought it originally, are you getting it, or are you getting the complete edition? Y'all let me know down in the comments. Next up, let's talk about Halo Campaign Evolved. By the way, I didn't say who wrote that first article. Let me pull that up real quick. My bad. Phil was Wesley Yinpool at IGN was the writer of the first article. My bad, Wesley. My bad. Let's talk about Halo. Halo Campaign Evolved sales estimates are in, and this is by Ryan McCaffrey at IGN. Halo Campaign Evolved, Halo Campaign Evolved, the recently released Unreal Engine 5 remake of the campaign, half of original Xbox's killer app Halo Combat Evolved, has sold 1.2 million copies across Xbox, PlayStation 5, and Steam, according to estimates from Alinea Analytics. Alinea estimates revenue so far, bear in mind that Campaign Evolved has only been out for 2 weeks, stands at approximately $67 million. The firm estimates the split in purchases by platform to be about 42% on Xbox, 41% on PS5, and 17% on Steam. Alina's Reese Elliott calls the sales figure soft so far, citing too high a price for a package lacking in competitive multiplayer, while also offering far less content than the more money than the $40 Halo Master Chief Collection, which PS5 owners don't have access to, but Steam users do. Elliott offered further analysis of the PlayStation sell figures, in particular saying this landed with an older, nostalgia-driven crowd rather than pulling in a fresh PlayStation audience, as many have pointed out that a Master Chief Collection release on PlayStation 5, multiplayer and all, would certainly have done far better than this campaign-only remake. At the very least, if the rumored Halo 2 remake ships with online multiplayer, it'll sell a great deal more, assuming it comes to PlayStation at all. So it's not going to come to PlayStation. That's the first thing right out the gate. It's not going to come to PlayStation. Asha has locked down the ship. She is not letting other things go out and be on other consoles, which I think is the right move. We've talked about that quite ad nauseum at this point. The sales figures being kind of soft doesn't surprise me. The game looks good. I will probably play more offline myself just to say that I played more of it. But just the 3-ish hours that I played, the bonus missions and everything, like I said, the new weapons are cool. There's some cool things there. The look and feel of things is pretty on point, but the gunplay is lacking. It is not tight. It doesn't feel like Halo. And as we reported last week, there was a lot of issues in the development that happened and caused Halo Campaign Evolved to actually happen. There was supposed to be a lot more to it, even a multiplayer side at one point in time, but they had to really kind of batten down the hatches just to get the campaign off of it. So do we see a Halo 2 remake? Maybe. I don't think that there is enough evidence to see that happen, because they were trying to see, okay, if this first one does well, we'll make the second one. And I think it would probably be a version where it is just the campaign again, because it takes less time. It is more controlled. You're not having to balance things and keep things afloat. You're not having to, squash bugs like you do with a live service game. So it just makes sense if they do continue down this path. Remake 2, I don't want to see it. That's unfortunate. Like, I love Halo. The Halo studio that we saw make this game, I don't trust. It just was not good. And all of the re-recordings of the lines, everything kind of felt flat and lifeless. Master Chief Collection is the better deal. You can get like all the games, and have a much better time. Hey, fishing with George. Hope you're doing well. So for me, I don't think that this is going to move the needle any further. I also hope that we get better writers for Halo going forward. Because I was hoping that the bonus missions would be this thing where, oh man, we can actually see something new. We can explore more things. And it just wasn't there. Someone on TikTok said on one of my videos I posted that the writing felt like, and the bonus missions felt like a mobile game. That kind of tracks. Not gonna lie. It is very interesting that it was almost a 50-50 split between Xbox and PlayStation 5. I think it's one of those things. It's like you've got gamers that have moved on to PlayStation because they do have more of a story based kind of game catalog than what Xbox does. So it was like, oh, I can replay Halo and all of that. And I'm curious if we see if it goes down in cost, if it will actually sell some more, if they do like a sale for, Christmas and all of that, if we get some more sales and all of that. But I don't think that people will be banging down the doors to try to get into campaign evolved. You can play it on the whole reason I got Game Pass. You can play it on Game Pass and, be done with it. It is what it is. So, again, Halo 2 remake, I don't think it will. If it does happen, one, it won't be on PlayStation at all. And two, it's not going to launch with multiplayer. They're not going to want to deal with that because ever since I know there was a pretty big Halo 5 crowd around the multiplayer and everything. But ever since 343, which is now Halo Studios, has taken over the franchise, the multiplayer has not been the same. It hasn't been tight. And with all of their kerfuffle over Halo Infinite, that's not there. They don't have the chops. And clearly, again, they don't have the chops. So hopefully we'll see somebody go in there. Y'all can call me. Let's make a good Halo game. Y'all can find my email. We'll do that. Guys, if you haven't already, smack that like button like you like it, because this is the Nerd Cave News. We come to you live each and every week on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Central Time to bring you all the video game news that you need to know. So you don't want to miss out on that. Hitting that like button tells the algorithm gods that you enjoyed it. You dig? You dig? Now, let's jump into some good news for Blizzard. Blizzard leads Xbox as top performing studio thanks to Overwatch and Diablo. This is by Michael Kripe over at IGN. Blizzard Entertainment is reportedly Microsoft's golden child after Overwatch and Diablo 4 Lord of Hatred helped it become the top performing Xbox studio. The World of Warcraft game developers president Jonah Ferris celebrated its status in leaked emails reported on Windows Central. On the heels of a lackluster earnings report for Xbox, she said to have told staff that Blizzard is firing on all cylinders. In fiscal year 26, Blizzard ended the year as the top performing studio in Xbox Studios division. Ferry's leaked email stated, and this past year has marked our third highest fiscal for top line revenue in Blizzard history. Blizzard's president then went on to confirm that fiscal year 25 and 26 marked the studio's first back-to-back years of growth since fiscal year 17. That's nearly 10 years without that kind of growth brought to an end thanks to two games in particular. The last 2 years have have seen Blizzard deliver resets for Overwatch. It first began in 2025 with the return of loot boxes and the new perk system, while 2026 dropped the two to pick up the slack with 10 new heroes for the year and loads of quality of life updates. Was it all worth it? Fairy seems to think so, with Overwatch recently boasting its strongest quarter since 2022. Good on them. Good on them. I'm glad that Blizzard is doing the thing. And I used to love Overwatch. Overwatch 2 came out, and it's a tale as old as time. It was trash, but it seems like they have fixed a lot of things, and clearly from the sales that they're doing. And even with Diablo, like having expansions and keeping people in there and people wanting to be a part of that, that is huge. And to be the top over Activision with Call of Duty, I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying that says a lot. That says a lot that this company, Blizzard, with Overwatch and Diablo, beat out Call of Duty. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Now, I know Joe is a huge Overwatch fan. He says, I like that they are trying. And I feel like that is all you can really ask for, because man, oh man, it was not great for a long time. Maybe I should give it a go, because I gave it a go at the very beginning. But I'm excited for that. And Joanna Ferris, keep doing the thing. See, that is a good CEO right there. That I hope I don't have to eat my words. You know what I mean? It took them a rival, pun intended, to do it, but still. Yeah, and, competition definitely breeds, sometimes desperation, but breeds, like, innovation. You got to keep on your toes. You can't rest on your laurels. And because, like, the hero shooter genre didn't really have any, competition with Overwatch, they just kind of, oh, well, same matches, same modes, same maps. And, we'll put out a new hero here and there. But to literally have 10 new heroes for the year, that's crazy, because that was definitely not the Overwatch that I was used to. I think within the time that I played, they might have launched maybe 2 characters that whole year, something like that. It was crazy. So I'm excited for that. Good job. Keep it up. And maybe that's a point where Call of Duty is just not cutting it, y'all. Call of Duty is not cutting it. Let's go into topic number 4. Strauss Zelnick defends GTA's 6's no disc decision. And this is by Wesley Yinpool over at IGN. Strauss Zelnick, boss of Rockstar's parent company Take-Two, has defended the... I put the wrong place. Wrong one. Hold on. Let's fix this. Take-Two's... Yeah. Boom. There we go. Strauss Zelnick, boss of Rockstar's parent company Take-Two, has defended the company's decision not to release GTA 6 on a physical disc, insisting when it comes to big games, discs don't really make sense for the consumer. Speaking during a Q&A with analysts following the summer's Q1 2027 financial release, Zelnick declined to speak specifically about Sony's controversial decision to kill physical disc production for PlayStation games from 2028, but did say that when it comes to GTA 6, a physical disc version it simply doesn't make sense. Our business is well over 90% digital distributed, Zelnick said. It's already a digital business, so in certain instances, especially if it's a big game, disc just, and I said disc, don't really make sense for the consumer. Also, most instances you have to register online to play anyhow. So if you're already connected, who cares if you downloaded it digitally? It's all the same and it's much more convenient. So that's where the world is going, in our opinion. And I think Sony understands that. We certainly understand that. And it doesn't mean that we won't have physical editions now and then. I'm sure we will still have the same way that there's still vinyl in the recorded music business. But in other instances, it just won't make sense. Now, we've talked a pretty good bit about the whole physical media and digital games, and I'm a digital game guy. Okay, I've been that way since the 360. I have been a digital first kind of person for a very long time. Doesn't mean that I don't like disc, and I think that disc are very important, especially with the way the market has gone, where you don't own anything. They could take things off stores. Like PlayStation, they literally removed movies off of people's accounts because they lost whatever it was. I can't remember what specific thing, but people had bought movies and then they lost the rights to them, couldn't access them and watch them anymore. So with this, I it's clearly a business move. Um, when it's like, oh, you're already connected and digital download and all of this, it's like, okay, GTA is a huge game. We've got Blu-ray disc now. It only takes one disc from what I remember to be able to play the last GTA. I do remember two discs on the maybe the 360 back in the day. God, that game is old. GTA 5. Um, but just because most people are doing this, 90% is digitally distributed, that doesn't matter. That's 10% of your sales that are physical. Okay. I, when we talked about, Capcom doing like 93%, 93.6% or something like that of their sales digitally, but they still wanted to keep digital physical sales. And I had people literally like trying to like fight me over why, like, okay, if you got 93% of your sales that's digital, that's awesome. Like you're not having to deal with, you know, GameStop, Best Buy, all of those things. But man, oh man, you're cutting out 6% of your market by not doing that. I'm trying to see where this comment. Da, 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 da. Okay, here we go. Because I did the math, I was trying to find it. Okay, so 6.7% of sales is still physical for Capcom. So the revenue for RE9, they sold 8 million units. Okay, so that's $560 million. Okay, it's $70 per unit. Digital sales 93.3%. That's 7,464,000,000 units sold. Okay, so that makes up like 500 million, 480,000. Okay, so that's 93.3%. Physical 6.7%. You had 536,000 units in the physical side. That's still $37,520,000. I don't know anyone, like we just talked about Halo sales being about 1.2 million, right? We just talked or 1.6. Let me clarify. 1.2 million copies sold. Okay. 1.2 million copies sold at, I think it's like $50. I'm pretty sure that they would want all of those cells. Z Team, I don't think they can print 300 gigabytes or above. I could see that. I could see that being an issue, even if you had to do 2 discs though. Like GTA is going to sell so much that, like, even if it's 90% of their sales are digital, physical 10%, like even just going off of those numbers for Capcom, like $37 million, I would not turn that down. And PlayStation's even worse. PlayStation's like 85% digital to physical. And they're wanting to cut that out. And I'm just like, do y'all not like money? Like, I know it still costs money to print disc and everything, but when you have someone like, because Capcom's been killing it, y'all. Capcom's been freaking crushing it. And they're like, yeah, it might be 6%, but we still want to reach that audience and everything. And I think also, like, growing up in a more rural area where like the internet sucked and like physical, like I grew up when physical games were the only thing, but when digital, like I remember, um it was really hard like when I went digital, because I would have to like download things using my phone if I was like home from college or whatever, like using my data off of my phone to download games. So it's like, if you think about it, yeah, it makes sense. It's easy. It's easier. It's, the consumer and all of that, but not everybody has it. And it's like, oh, well, Zach, you're talking about a minority. It's like, yeah, it's a minority, but man, if somebody said, okay, you can make 5 million or 500 million plus, and if you actually sell to the 6%, you can make 37 more million, and be like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. And it's like in the overhead, like I don't know the breakdown of the overhead, but if you're printing that large enough of a number of disc, you're going to be making your money back. It's even like limited run games. They're still making money off of those. Joe says the problem isn't modernizing. The problem is why more digital equals less physical, which means older physical media will get more expensive. True. And I think I think a lot of it is, if we can control who owns things, we can keep charging them money. Like, you look at Nintendo, how many times have people bought freaking Mario, like the first Mario, because it's a new console and you have to buy it again? You know what I mean? It's like a lot of things don't transfer and all of that. Thankfully, Xbox is really good about backwards compatibility. They are actually, you can use, they're like launching a new thing where you can use your 360 games and get like a digital download of that and all of that. That's cool, but then those old games don't work anymore, because I don't know how they're all doing that. But it really comes down to they're trying to control what the access is. And it's like, you might not have internet, you might not have this, that, or the other. We also saw a few weeks ago Xbox go down and PlayStation go down in the same weekend, and a lot of people couldn't access their games. So yeah, 90% of your stuff is digital. Selling it, cool. 10% though, that's a lot of money still sitting on the table. It's a lot of money sitting on the table. And maybe you can convert like an extra 3% of that physical crowd, maybe even 5, but still 5%, still a lot of money. Still a lot of money. I'm just saying. That's my thoughts on that. I definitely wanted to bring some numbers for y'all, because I think that's important to understand that that's a lot of money. And if I was trying to optimize and get the best bang of the buck, and you've been working on this game freaking forever, it's like, okay, we're going to do a limited run of games. We're going to put them out there. when that sells out, that's it. That's all the physical versions of GTA we're gonna do. That would have worked. That would have worked. Joe says, can you really convert them though? What if part of the 90s like digital but doesn't like not having disc? Yeah. Yeah. They got the numbers from Red Dead Redemption 2 and they know if you scale the game they lose, so they need to kill secondhand CDs. Yeah. Red Dead Redemption, like I loved Red Dead Redemption 2 Z Team. I loved it. Like comparing the numbers though. But it's like once you scale to that like amount, it's again, if you limit the amount of discs that you're actually going to print, I think you can get around like some of the secondhand stuff. But man, GTA 5 has been around so long and on so many different consoles. They've made money hand over fist. But I do see what you're saying. All right, let's jump into the Patreon quick hits. Guys, the Patreon quick hits. That's not the right one. Patreon quick hits for the single over here. Hi, Leon. Hope you're doing well tonight. They're going to be rare. Okay, I see what you're saying now. Patreon quick hits are brought to you by our wonderful patrons. Go over to patreon.com/nerdcave to get your very own Nerd Cave membership. It helps our 1.5 person business. Derek's Ghost. Yeah. 1.5 person business here. 1.5 person. That's what it sounds right. Keep the lights and the mics on to keep doing awesome stuff like this. Go over there, become part of the ship, part of the crew over there. Patreon.com/nerdcave. Now I'm going to read all of this and then we can chat a little bit. I love getting to chat with people. So if there is a thing that you want us to go a little bit deeper on, put it in the chat as I go through this. So let me wet my whistle. Now for the Patreon quick hits, Phantom Blade Zero pre-orders are live now. Ex-Bethesda artist says Fallout 3 wasn't exactly how we intended due to being constrained by tech. Dune Awakening officially goes gold ahead of the September 22nd launch. Ghost Recon 25th anniversary reveals free Wildland story and gameplay updates along with confirmation of new game. Nintendo reveals digital sales up 90% compared to last year. Switch 2 units top 23 million. Report live action Legend of Zelda movie taps Yuli Latuf. Sorry, I am butchering this dude's name. Yuli Latifu. Let's see. Where? Oh, I know this dude. He plays Young Rock. Okay, cool. This dude. I've just been seeing clips from the Young Rock show. Yuli Latu. I'm bad at pronouncing, y'all. Y'all just bear with me. That's why Derek reads these. Sam Neill, Deitch Lackham, and Yvonne Stravosky also confirmed to star in Legend of Zelda movie. Samara Weaving reportedly joins the Legend of Zelda in a mystery role. Layoffs hit staff at Crossfire dev That's No Moon. 3 first print Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow sell for 2 million in world's second largest video game transaction ever. No surprise, GTA 6 fans are annoyed by Netflix's paywalled extended look at the game. Final Fantasy VII Revelation will show up at Gamescom opening night live. Absalom balance patch brings companion respawning, quick restart, upgrade campfire craft ability, and more. Marvel Tokon PC launch is so bad that the famed FGC content creator Maximilian Dude uninstalled the game on stream. Halo Studios reportedly suffers layoffs following the launch of Halo Campaign Evolved. Strauss Zelnick won't rule out GTA 6 on disc at some point, and says decisions had nothing to do with concerns over leaks. Strauss Zelnick says more people are pre-ordering the $100 version of the game. Well, of course there is. Of course there is. Strauss Zelnick says Borderlands 4 performance has not affected their plans as fans await 2-year roadmap. Fortnite's next season is Override, a gaming themed crossover expected to feature Sonic, Persona, and Tetris. And yes, sprites are staying this season. Nintendo says physical games still account for 38.5% of software sales following Sony's decision to kill PS5 disc. PS5 cloud streaming is now possible on Steam Deck and Steam Machine without a PlayStation 5 via third-party app. You could do it. It was a whole rigmarole to do that, but that's dope. I love mine on the portal over the Steam Deck, but that's cool. Gothic Remake post-launch content includes photo mode, Marvin mode, bug fixes, and more. Take-Two reportedly only talking about GTA 6 as a single-player game. No plans to discuss GTA Online at any time soon. Game Science won't use AI to speed up development of Black Myth Zongqi. Yeah. Final Fantasy IX Remake has now reportedly stalled despite being very far along. Big Walk sells 1 million copies in less than a week. Let's go. Persona 1 and 2 remakes are something Atlas should definitely do, says producer. Battlefield 6 players with over 400 hours get full refund from Steam after key modes were removed. Hideaki Kamiya hints at involvement in the next Devil May Cry game. Aliens Fireteam Elite on Switch 1 shuts down with no refund as owners become the latest victim of gaming's increasingly digital future. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 gets huge boost 3 years after launch thanks to box office success of Spider-Man Brand New Day. Curtis 50 Cent Jackson joins Payday TV show as executive producer. After a decade of No Man's Sky, players have explored less than 1% of the planets. Holy moly, that's crazy. The Game Awards is returning on December 10th at LA's Peacock Theater. We'll be here watching that live. After I already read that one, Marvel's Wolverine is getting a PS5 Digital Edition console bundle, console covers, and matching DualSense controllers. Remedy confirms Rockstar is handling publishing for Max Payne 1 and 2 remake project. I'm really excited about that. Love Max Payne. Pearl Abyss confirms Crimson Desert DLC is set to launch this year. More details due in third quarter. Which they just came out, I think, April. That's pretty awesome that we're getting content that fast. Kingdom Hearts 4 news expected at Disney's D23 panel. Helldivers 2 update adds new Illuminati enemies, a new biome full of fresh horrors, a level cap increase, and much more. Stop Killing Games joins Dutch customer group $457 million lawsuit against Sony over digital store monopoly. NVIDIA price increase are live as the RTX 5060 Ti jumps over $800. The Lord of the Rings War in the North Legacy Edition gets shadow dropped on modern consoles and PC. Aspire confirms more Lord of the Rings remasters are in the works. Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced players only have a 47% win rate against legendary ships. Supermassive Games suffers layoffs up to 75 people. Warner Brothers confirms that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is officially in the works. We already kind of knew that, but now it's official. Reddit users cuts Steam Machine faceplates out of the same marble that Michelangelo used. Okay, I didn't know any of that would be still around. Halo campaign evolves, sales estimates. We already read that one. Warhammer 40K Dawn of War 4 delayed to December 3rd. And finally, CD Projekt confirms layoffs on The Witcher's multiplayer spin-off. Well, there is the Patreon quick hits. Yeah, it is just 6 hours, Z-Team. I think why people want to know the news like right away, like especially with something with like GTA, they want that like right then. It is smart on Netflix side of things to have it behind the wall and all of that, but as soon as it goes up, it's going to be going on YouTube as fast as it goes out on Netflix. So yeah, it's definitely one of that. Yeah, so 80% of all sales for GTA so far has been for the $100 version, which that doesn't surprise me because the $100 version has so much content that you're not going to be able to play. It's like it's mission stuff too. So that's huge. People are going to see the game on Netflix and they will think Rockstar for the $100, not more than that. People are going to see the game on Netflix and they will think Rockstar for the $100, not more. I'm trying to understand what you mean on that. Kingdom Hearts 4, yeah, I think that's an easy one there for that. The Marvel Wolverine PS5 stuff, like it Derek sent it to me and I was just like, I'm not feeling it. Like, I don't know. What do y'all think? Y'all let me know. What do y'all think about this? Like, it's not like doing anything for me. Like maybe the black and yellow controller, that's pretty cool. But like, it's not like the Spider-Man one, and this is for the newer one, so it wouldn't even fit on my thing. But yeah, he sent it to me and I was kind of like, that's not it. That's not it for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in that, but those are my thoughts on that. It just doesn't look as cool as to put that kind of money in it. You know what I mean? I'm not even sure how much it's going to be. But yeah, like this, it looks sort of cool, but if you just showed me this and you didn't say anything, I think it's like a Mad Catz controller. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have like Wolverine or anything like that. I feel like they have gotten worse and worse with like their designs on stuff. Like if you think about cross strikes, like the I would agree with that, Joe. Like if it was like the cross strikes and everything, it would make it feel more like Wolverine. It just looks like I said, a Mad Catz controller. It's just like, oh, maybe not 100%. I mean, y'all know what I'm talking about. Or like a full model of Wolverine. Yeah, something like that. Like I'm thinking, like the God of War PS4 console, like the PS4 Pro, like even it looked cooler than this. You know what I mean? Like this is a pretty cool, like the controller kind of simple, but it still had God of War. But this is a really important, mark. If you play the games, but like the console itself is the Leviathan axe. Like it's super cool. The Gears of War, I think it was maybe the 360. I know there was another one, but yeah, like that one was cool. I know that there was a Xbox One version, I want to say. Yeah, like this looked dope. Even this one, an Xbox One X, like that looked so much cooler than what we're getting with this. Okay, Z Team clarified. I mean, people after they see the gameplay, they're gonna know 100 price. It's a good deal. Yeah, okay. Thank you for clarifying for me. Yeah, I agree. Once they see, and I'm sure they are going to show content that is in that bundle, and people are going to eat it up. Which for me, I will definitely be getting the $100 bundle because there's so much content that is behind that paywall and everything. So yeah. But yeah, like even the Halo Xbox, like this is the Series X that I have. Like this looks so much cooler than what we're seeing with, you know what I mean? Like this looks super dope. This one does look cool too. I feel like Xbox is like way better at their stuff. Yeah, it's the biggest game release that we've seen since GTA 5. There's no doubt in my mind. And I'm curious how many people are going to be taking off work to play to play it. You know what I mean? I know I've got days that I've definitely like, all right, I'm taking off for certain games. I haven't decided if I'm doing it for GTA yet. Maybe I will. I don't know. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I don't know yet. I don't know. But there. Z Team, thank you so much for being here, man, and commenting and being part of the show. Same thing, Joe. I'll take 20 days off. Hey, if you can, and you're not, putting yourself in a bind, more power to you, bro. More power to you. You know, like I know where I work, we have unlimited PTO. That's a myth. But if I could take off a bunch of days and just play, that would be dope. That would be dope. I know I'm taking off time for Gears, and I know I'm taking off time for Wolverine. Maybe I should take time off for GTA. Well, there you go, guys. That is our show tonight. We'll be back on Tuesday playing more video games, and we'll be back on Thursday with this show. Tomorrow, I am putting out my thoughts on Gears of War E-Day, so you definitely want to check that out. You don't want to miss that. It's going to be great. I go pretty in depth for about like 12 minutes and a lot of gameplay footage as well. So check that out. It's going to be great. I love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the night. This has been Zach. Bye-bye.